There's many ways to get messages, but there's two main ways to really get messages. So what I mean by that is there's one way of tapping in to get your message, and then there's another way of just receiving the message. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I also want to share two techniques on how to tap in to get messages and then how to just receive messages. Most people that are tapping in to get a message are usually people that are psychic or are doing readings for a living, because there's a certain time per session and we have to actually tap in to receive it. So we have to tap into this consciousness or whatever we call it to actually get the message. And we're going through this consciousness and tapping into this frequency to get this answer for them and to bring it back here and then translate it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Because it's good because we're giving them a little bit of hint of guidance, but sometimes it's bad because we're just giving them answers, but we're not able to tell them how to get there. So what happens is when they leave, they get filled with these ideas of what they should be doing or looking for, but it's their own ideas because they're trying to bridge the gap of what we see as an outcome to what they should be doing. And what happens is they try to make choices and they try to follow it by what the psychic is saying. Just take hints of it and do things on a daily basis as how they would normally do. And when it comes up, then they make the choice as it happens. It's almost like if I do a reading for somebody and I say, oh, you're going to meet this guy named Paul. And then they go in the room and they're like, is your name Paul? Is your name Paul? Is your name Paul? But then it's not like they're letting something happen. Because sometimes we need to make mistakes in order to that stepping stone of meeting another person or another person to meet that Paul. I remember when I was younger and I was trying to do readings for myself, I wanted to make sure that every choice I made was perfect and that I never made any mistakes. And I was like, I can do this. If I can do readings, I can make sure every single choice I do is perfect so that I can live life without any drama. But it doesn't work that way because sometimes we have to make the mistakes, and those mistakes give us knowledge, and it's that stepping stone to get to the next place. And if we don't make these mistakes, we're not building this foundation of experiences to even deal with the next thing that comes our way. And that's why sometimes tapping in to get your answer is not always good, because now we're reaching out to help this person and just give them the answer without letting them work for it and to experience it and to understand why they're getting from one place to the next. However, sometimes it's good because you get guidance where you notice something or you pick up on something, you're like, oh, that's what she said, and then you go that route. We should make sure we know that we're in control of our own lives and we make our own choices, not the psychic. The psychic is tapping into the consciousness of what you're thinking and feeling in that now. And in that now this is what you're creating for yourself. But that now can always change. And that's why you don't want to hold to that prediction. You want to also know that you are empowered and you can make your own choices. Tapping in is good because it does help you to see the difference between two choices, a difference between two people, a difference, and also they can help you to see what your fears, what your obstacles are, and what you need to work on to get from step A to step B, if you ask the right questions. But for a psychic, tapping in is not that fun because we have to tap into this consciousness and kind of like go through these files of frequencies. And then when we find the right frequency, we pull that out and then we have to translate that frequency. We have to translate that file. Now, receiving message, it's a wonderful thing because you are not even trying. But this you cannot do as a psychic because the person is paying for their time and they want their answers. And if you take too long trying to just sit and receive the message, they're going to, for one, think you're trying to waste time for their session, or two, they're going to be impatient and they're going to keep asking you, what do you get? What do you get? So in order to just receive, it's more like something you would do most likely when there's no pressure, there's no time pressure. And a lot of times healers, massage therapists, a lot of people that work with energy, picks up these messages, because when they're meditating, when they're healing, when they're doing massages, they're in that realm, and their mind is in that space where their mind is clear and they can just receive. And the wonderful thing about that is you're going to get the message, not that you want to know, but the message that you should know. So that makes a difference in a way. Sometimes when you receive the message that you should know, it's important, because it's something that is going to help you or steer you in the right direction, or they want you to know this for a reason. So it's a very important way of getting message, although it's unfortunate that when you do readings as a psychic, you don't have as much time to do it that way. But through the years, as I do readings, I realized that you need both. You have to be able to tap in to get your messages and to bring it back and translate them so you can guide them. But you also have to be able to keep a clear mind and make time to receive the message as well, so you can also deliver the message that not they're asking for, but the one that they need to know at the time. So it's good to merge both of them together and to find that balance in doing both. The way I look at it is, though, when you're trying to do both, it's like toggling between two apps on your phone, or toggling between two programs on your computer. Because one is like going to this one program that's going to allow you to tap in, get the information, and then another program where you have to switch to, and then clear mind, and then receive. So it's these two different things. But in order to be trained to do that, you have to practice meditation a lot so you can get into that space, but then also practice tapping in as well. So I'm going to show you one exercise for each. So this first one is for tapping in. Okay, so if you missed my last video post, it was about energy and feeling the energy within your palms of your hands. If you didn't see it, I am going to post it at the end, because this is very important for this part of the video. So this exercise is about tapping into energy. So what we're going to do is, you're going to decide, and you're going to write these things down, or you're going to decide and try and keep a note and remember that you're going to say, okay, whenever I feel cold energy in my hand, that's a no. And whenever I feel heat in my hand, it's a yes. Whenever I feel a frequency, or like a wave running through me, it means not to trust somebody. Whenever I feel energy, like a cold energy going through my spine, that means I should be aware of something. So you kind of keep note, and you create these psychic dictionaries, is what I call them, for like a reference for yourself, so that your body will give you these messages, and that you will pick up on. And the more you practice these different feelings, the more you'll be sensitive to them. Just remember, this is a beginning. It's a little bit different. So if you don't feel anything at first, like I said, go back to the first video and practice feeling different types of energies. It's not something that you can get in a day, like these things take time, and it does take work. And if this is something that you want to do, then this is something that you would have to practice. So now, after deciding what you're giving your subconscious mind references for, then you will tap in. So you think of a question, and you close your eyes, and you tap into that question. And to tap into that question, you visualize everything around that question. So say it's to do at work, you visualize your job, you visualize the people there, and maybe it's about a choice. You visualize this job, and then you visualize how this job would look like to you. Or if you can't do that, visualize two logos of the job, but visualize something that represents the jobs. So same thing like with choosing between two people. Visualize the two people. Or say it's like you don't even know the person. Maybe you just text the person, but you never met the person. Just visualize their name, and from there, you pick up a feeling from that. So as you do that, what you're doing is you're tapping in. You're tapping into that person. You're tapping into these choices. And your subconscious mind is giving you these feelings that you decide to program yourself with. And you can try that, and that's one way of tapping in. For more information on that, you can probably go to my website, and I have classes there as well. Now the next one is receiving messages. So this is one practice you can do to receive messages. Now here's the funny part. Receiving messages, your mind has to be in a blank state. You have to be clear. You have to have no negativity, no thoughts, you have to be in the now. To get there, sometimes it's not easy for people because we think about a lot of things throughout the day. We hold on to these ideas, these thoughts, these expectations, and how we want things to be. And what happens is our mind isn't clear. So look at it as, when you were in high school and you would sit there and daydream, kind of feel like in that space, like you're daydreaming, but you're aware at the same time. And try and stay in that space every so often. And the more you're in that space, it's easier for your mind to get there. But not only that, it also helps you to not worry so much about everything else around you. And it helps you to take the pressure off and a lot of stress off of you. So it's also a good thing to practice. And it's a type of meditation that you can do 24/7. All you do is you kind of pull away and get into a dream-like state or a daydreaming state of mind. And sooner or later, you get muscle memory and you'll be able to do that more often and when you want to. And like I said before in the beginning of the video, you'll be able to toggle back and forth between focusing and tapping in and then clearing your mind to get a message, to receiving a message. So when you practice the daydreaming, you can also do that with your eyes closed. And I want to say daydreaming, it's a little bit lighter than saying meditation because people always think that meditation, they have to force themselves really to not pick up anything. Daydreaming is like you're just gazing into nothingness, so it kind of feels less pressure. So just practice that and throughout the day, and you might not receive any messages at all because that's the part of receiving. You're not tapping in and you're not trying to get an answer. You're just waiting, and when it happens, it happens. And so practice those two.